Hello, ladies, gentlemen, and non binary friends. Welcome back to another episode of Actors with Issues, where we bring you casual chats with the stars of TV, film, and Broadway. As always, I am your host, Juan Ayala. Thanks for tuning in. Today's guest is an actress of stage and screen who has starred in the Stars series American Gods, and here to chat with us about their latest role on Hulu's How I Met Your Father. It's Ashley Reyes. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi Juan, how are you?
I am great. Thank you so much for being here. So we
Thank you.
always start with a rapid fire game called Getting to Know You. We're gonna put 60 seconds on the clock and see how many of these questions you can get through. And we always start with coffee or tea,
Coffee.
film or TV,
Ooh, TV.
drama or comedy,
Comedy.
hero or villain,
Ooh, villain.
day off. Are you watching a horror movie or a rom com?
Horror movie.
First celebrity crush.
Oh gosh, 50 Cent.
What actor has had the biggest influence on you?
Olivia Colman.
Do you have any secret talents?
Um, y- yes. I can make my tongue into a butt.
What is the last show that you binge watched?
Um, Top Chef.
What was your first non-acting job?
I ran the spotlight at a community theater.
What's a movie that never fails to make you laugh?
I'm there's gotta be one. Just Friends.
Describe your most memorable audition in 3 words. And memorable can be good or bad, so I leave that up to you.
Oh my gosh. Um, there have been so many. My wait, in 3 words?
Yes.
Um, crawling, floor, um, just crying.
Do you want to share the story of that audition? Was it for a
Um,
horror film?
so it was my first audition for theater out of drama school, and it was for Hamilton.
Mm.
And I was so out of my depth, and I figured, screw it. I'm not a musical theater performer anymore. I grew up doing musical theater, but I haven't done it in a long time. And I figured, why not? Okay, let's just go for it. If we're gonna do this, let's go all in. So I was auditioning for the Peggy track,
Mm.
and they have to do the song where um, what's his face? The lead guy of the show.
Burr?
No,
Haley?
Hamilton. Um, my gosh, it's certainly a Friday morning. And he is about to cheat on his wife with Mariah, and I figured, let's just go for it. I had my hair up in a clip, and the song starts, and I like took my hair out of this clip and I started swishing it around, and I started crawling on the floor, and I sang the song from the floor. And I got up, and in the room I started crying because I was like, I just blew my first audition. I just made a complete fool of myself. I ended up getting a call back and then freezing, like completely freezing in my callback. It was terrible.
So, How I Met Your Father, congrats on the season 2 renewal. I know that that was just announced, so congrats to all of you. I'm sure you're all over the moon about that. I feel like so many shows don't make it past season 1 these days. So many things get canceled, so huge congrats to all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's awesome.
And the show is so charming. I've been catching up over the last couple of days, and you guys have this wonderful cast that really reflects the diversity of New York in a way that exists in 2022, and that's so wonderful to see. And it still has that like classic sitcom feel. I'm a 90s baby, so I totally grew up watching all these sitcoms. So what's it like for you entering this like shared universe that's now over 15 years old?
I think we were all feeling a lot of pressure at first, because it's intimidating. You're going into a franchise that people know so well and love so dearly. And I remember seeing the audition come through, And I was like, ooh, this will either be great or it's going to tank. And luckily, our showrunners and our writers are so brilliant. And we have so many people from the original crew of the show, thank goodness, because they knew exactly how to make it work. Because it was a lot of pressure. Um, but you just had to trust the writing, trust the writers, and have fun. And they knew that they were going to put together a group of people who had great chemistry with each other and just genuinely enjoyed being around each other. I know that the main cast and all of us who are kind of floating around, we love being there. It's a very happy family, and it was a happy place to go to work every time you step on that set, and you could feel the the greatness of it and the predecessor of the show.
I want to go back to your audition and that whole process. I'm sure that because of COVID, there was lots of tapes, lots of Zoom calls and whatnot. So, what was that, all of that like compared to your previous experiences?
This audition process was wild for me. So I initially auditioned for Ellen, um, and sent in my tape for Ellen, and then got a response back saying, "Can you please tape for what at the time was Kate, which is now Valentina?" And so then I sent in that audition, and they ended up that day. I think I got a call saying they want to fly you out to test. And so I tested in LA. It was like a crazy 24-hour whirlwind, and then flew back a few weeks later. They're like, oh, didn't go your way. But the show, they are big fans of yours. And I was like, I love the whole team. I had such a good time. I had met Hillary and Tom and had a just really great rapport with them as people. I just thought that they would be a wonderful group of people to be around. And so I was a bit bummed I didn't get it initially, to be honest. And then about a month maybe later, after all the other casting had come out, I got a call. I was at work, I was bartending, and I got a call. I ran into the keg room. I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And they were like, they have a part for you that they don't need you to audition for it. They really were so appreciative of your energy when you came in to test, and they want to have you on the show in that capacity. And it was no brainer. I hung up my phone. I told my manager I was quitting. I ran out of there. I was like, I'm going to LA. I'm done. I'm gonna be on How I Met Your Father. And oh God, I'm gonna get emotional just thinking about it. It was really wild. I'm very grateful to that whole team, and I think everything worked out exactly the way it needed to, and just had to trust the process of all of it. But it was a long process.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure that with so many experiences, a lot of our audience are like young actors and artists, and that's such a resonant message is just trust the process. Like, if it's meant for you, it's for you. If it's not, it's not. There's so much uncertainty and guesswork in entertainment and in show business and all of this. It's, you know, definitely a huge lesson that I know a lot of actors could be like, okay, if it's meant, if something's meant for us, it's
Yeah,
gonna it's gonna work itself out. So
yeah.
looking back, is there any advice that you would give your younger self?
Oh my gosh. Going back to the trusting thing, just trust yourself and trust your instincts. And if it doesn't feel right, it's not right. And just because something might sound nice doesn't mean it's always the best for you. Um, and don't second guess yourself, because there's going to be a lot of people who are going to second guess you, and you don't need to be one of them.
So many folks that we've had on the show talk about, everything from imposter syndrome and lack of diversity to audition anxiety. Is there any particular obstacle that you've overcome, that you can share some insight with our audience?
Oh gosh, all of those things. I mean, it truly, I think lack of confidence was something that plagued me for up until this year, pretty much. I'm turning 27 this year, and since I was going to drama school when I was 18, I never thought that I was good enough. I think I grew up on Long Island, and I was doing community theater on Long Island. And I mean, at the time when I was 16, I think, or maybe a year before, it was when In the Heights came out, and
Mm.
that was the first time that I had seen Puerto Ricans on a stage. And I remember growing up, and there was a girl, we were doing Seussical, and she told me that I couldn't be Gertrude because I was too brown. And I just that just stuck with me for the rest of my life. I was just like, I can't do this. I'm not meant to do theater. You know, with people who come from what I come from, we don't do theater or um and it just really stuck with me. I didn't think I could sing. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was pretty enough. And up until this year, that was how I lived my life. I was like, I love doing this, but I don't think I'm good enough. And then finally, you just hit a day where it's just enough is enough. Life isn't fun if you're living like that. It's not enjoyable. And I'm so lucky to get to do this as a career. Might as well have fun doing it instead of beating myself over the head every time I do something wrong, which is what I was doing. And so I think it took me a long time to get to where I am confidence wise. You know, my career, I'm very lucky to have the career that I've been having, but the most important thing in my life now is my mental health and how I feel about myself. And that's if that's good, then everything else is good.
Something that lots of folks during the pandemic shared that they were lacking in that area of that self-care, of being in check with their mental health and their wellness and all of that, and just learning to take a step back and being able to really check in with themselves. And that's something I went through. I started therapy during the pandemic. It was just something that, you have to really check in with yourself, especially in the entertainment business where it's so emotionally taxing and exhausting, and rejection and all of that. It's just we all go through it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So as far as your character, Hannah, and her storyline with Sid, the season's not over yet, and we do have season two coming up. So what is something that you hope that audiences take away from your character, and also something you're looking forward to with your character?
I think the biggest takeaway with my character is, the show is so whimsical and fun, and I think with Sid and Hannah, we are everybody's normal relationship. We are just the no frills, daily struggle relationship. Two people who love each other and have problems. We're a real couple who is trying to make a long distance thing work. And the reality of it is it's not always pretty. It's not always nice and it's okay. And love is complicated and Hannah is a person who doesn't want to be controlled by her relationship. She wants to do other things. Love isn't the only thing in her life. And she loves Sid and she loves her relationship, but it's sometimes love is freaking hard. And I think that's why I'm there is to show people that their relationships are okay.
Before we wrap up, we always end with another game called Now That We Know You, since we've gotten to chat and get to know you a little better, but it's not rapid fire, so pressure's off in terms of that. So fill in the blank. If I weren't working in the arts, I'd be.
A chef.
Me too.
Oh, no way.
Who would you trade places with for one day?
Hmm. Yeah, I would love to be like some sort of athlete. Like, I'd love to be someone who was really good at sports because I'm not. So I'd love to be like a like a LeBron James. That's someone I would love to trade. Yeah.
See what a day in his life is like.
Yeah, I mean it's got to be A, crazy, B, so much fun. Like just to be an absolute house of a human, just raking in dough and just it's got to be a great life.
What is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Um, the bet. Ooh, that most people aren't afraid of being bad, they're afraid of being great. So don't live your life of being afraid of being great.
Mm. And what's the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Oh God, give up acting.
And lastly, in 10 words or less, what advice would you give to a young actor?
Don't take this industry too seriously.
Awesome. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Thank you for being here on Actors with Issues. If anyone wants to give you a follow on Instagram, where can they find you?
My Instagram is at Reyes, Ashley Reyes.
Awesome. And you can all follow us on Instagram at Actors with Issues. Give me a follow at Juaniela Official. Check out our full video interviews at youtube.com/Actors with Issues podcast and listen on the go wherever you get your podcast every Monday. Don't miss Ashley Reyes and How I Met Your Father streaming now on Hulu with new episodes every Tuesday. I'm Juaniela. This is Actors with Issues, and we'll see you next week.